Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Mark Forwardable Just For Laughs Montréal. The festival running July 13th through the 31st. Got a bunch of shows called A Very Mark Forward, July 26th to the 30th at the Diving Bell Social Club. Welcome to the show, man. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's exciting. 40 years of Just For Laughs. I mean, such a coveted festival. What's it like kind of being part of it, but let alone just being part of it at its prestigious 40-year anniversary?
Starting out, it was a big goal of mine, and I've been very lucky to go, I think, almost 11, 12 times now. So, I'm ready to wrap it up after this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unless you do very well, they want you to come back.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I never expect anyone to want me back. That's the way you go into it.
So, like, for you, stand-up comedy, was that like your first love? Was that the first thing that you really wanted to do, or did the interest come later, or what was that like for you?
Well, I went to theater school first, and I did live theater for about a year and a half, and I wanted a way to get rid of the other actors, so stand-up was the way to go. No, that's not.
I knew what I was getting myself into when this interview got confirmed. I hope you know that.
No, comedy was, I wasn't one of those kids that sat around listening to albums or anything.
Yeah.
I just had a love for it, and I just sort of fell into it, really, to be honest.
So the acting was so you want to act first, would you say?
I wanted to perform overall and had no idea what that meant. And
absolutely.
And still don't really, because I still kind of try to do everything. So
yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. Bunch of shows at the end of the festival. Very Mark Forward. What can you tell us about these shows?
I've been putting them on in Toronto for a couple of years. They're just I wanted a place for people to come and comedy just to be silly, stupid, and fun.
Yeah.
With no purpose or agenda.
Sounds like a TV show you're also working on, that you work on too.
Yeah.
Does it blow your mind though how passionate that fan base is, the Letterkenny fan base? Like, they're never going away, like, ever.
They are pretty strong. It's amazing. I think we were all a little blindsided by it.
Yeah.
The way it just sort of took off. But it was especially crazy being down in the States and being so far from home and being spotted in Houston, Texas, or that was really strange. Even though I can walk around Canada and no one cares, in the States they do. That's great.
Yeah. No, well, I just want to know, because there's a lot of different scenes and everything. What can you tell me about preparation wise or mindset wise, or what it's like with the specific angry hockey coach scenes? What are those like specifically?
Like the big ranty.
Yeah, the ranty, those days in the locker room. What are those like?
Well, the first one I ever did, I did an audition. I was filling in for someone that could no longer do the role, and so Jacob called me. Well, he didn't call me personally, but Jacob said, "Why don't we get Mark?" Because we'd worked together on another show, and so I walked into that, never even seeing if I could even do this guy.
Yeah.
And the first one was this huge, long rant about them losing, and I need you up here, and all that one, and kicking the garbage can for the first time. So it was really scary, because I didn't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this guy.
Yeah.
But now when I get a big page like that, I seriously, the AD has an aspirin ready for me, and I take an aspirin before the shoot. because I'm definitely gonna have a headache
Yeah.
after losing my shit that much.
Well, I hear from, DP specifically when he's been on the show a few times. One time he says you cause a lot of problems sometimes because it's hard sometimes not to laugh in between takes and everything. And are you kind of like sorry, or are you kind of like get your shit together, guys? Like, or is it a little bit of both?
I mean, that's very nice of Dylan to say. I do love busting those Dylan and Andrew's balls. I kind of like, and especially on the live tour, I like trying to break everybody. I'm not professional in any way. I enjoy breaking them, and then I really enjoy when the crew is angry and the director is angry, and they're like, "Okay, guys, that's enough of that." That's when I really like to break them, because I love that feeling of we're in trouble. And I'm going to keep getting them in trouble.
You see online, like, your character is a fan favorite. I find it difficult to become a fan favorite on a show like Letterkenny, specifically, Mark, because there are so many characters. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm just curious from your perspective. I mean, it's them, but, like, do you think it's like the energy, like the angry aspect? Like, what do you think, in your opinion, based on the many seasons of you doing it so far? What do you think is hitting stride with your character specifically? Do you even have an answer to that right now?
Well, I would, I don't know, attack the premise of the question, because I don't know if he's a fan favorite, but that's kind of you to say. But
he is a fan favorite. I disagree with you.
All right. I don't know. I think as much as he's messed up and angry, I think there's just something likable still there about him. Mm-hmm. I think people, even though he's so horrible, you want him to succeed.
Well, misunderstood, I think, is the word you're looking
for. Like there's almost like a hint of something really bad happened to this guy. I hope things turn around for him.
I think it's interesting that you started, like you said, in theater and everything. Do you think it's like something that, like, because there's a lot of people, like, there's a lot of stand-up comics that when they started in comedy clubs, they shifted over to acting and worked in TV and film. Do you think that's like by choice? Do you think like you have to kind of wear many hats in industry to, like, make a living? Because maybe sometimes the comedy shows aren't going to be there all the time. Like, what do you think about that shift over to TV and film from comedy?
I don't know. I think good stand-ups are good actors. Yeah. And so I think this shift is just, let's go try that. I don't think it's as hard to shift from stand-up to being an actor if you're a good stand-up. Mm-hmm. I think it's harder to go the other way, for sure. Mm-hmm. But I think just good stand-up lends yourself to good acting.
No, absolutely. You know what's really funny? I was interviewing Veer Das, who has a show as well on like the Just For Laughs this year too, and he says he always finds it funny online when comics post like destroys heckler and crowd, right? Or like obliterates. Yeah, they're like self-proclaimed. Yeah, does that drive you nuts when you see that?
Driving me nuts. That's all that's out there now. That's all that people are putting out there. Hey, watch me. And that's something I would love out. Most comics don't want in the game.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like I don't know, if you're trying to sell soccer and you're just constantly saying, "Oh, look at this streaker, look at this streaker, look at this streaker." It's like, that wasn't a great comparison. I'm not happy with that comparison. But you know what I
Yeah. Well, no, it's not like, I mean? and I honestly think too that, like, your job is to kind of perform on the crowd and everything, and the heckler, right, half the time is just kind of someone who's maybe overserved, right? Because that happens a lot. Or someone that's just trying to get your attention. Someone literally said, I had on my show like years ago, that like all these trolls on the internet, right, are just people that literally, like, it's a weird, horrible way of showing that they're like a fan and want your attention, basically.
Yeah, that's what people keep telling me, because I hate posting it. I don't post many jokes on Twitter, but when I do and someone posts a joke back, that's the biggest insult to me.
Well, you know what? It's funny because I did an interview with Brett Ernst. He's a really funny comedian. He was also in Cobra Kai and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I did an interview with him. It was like right when, like, it was last year or the year before, like shows in LA were like just coming back for COVID, right? They had like really, and I was asking him questions about hecklers, and like he went like off about a heckler, right? Like just like went off. Like it was crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he was like, this just happened last night, by the way. So I'm like, of course I picked, like, I asked him about heckling. It was on my list of questions. And then like the day after, because he went off, he was like, there's no need for this. Like, it's like, he was not happy.
Yeah,
I'm like,
no, I'm not. I don't know why so many comics are sharing that stuff. I guess because it gets attention, right? People pay attention.
Or maybe
to that.
they're just not funny enough. Maybe they're just not Mark Forward. Maybe they're just not one. Maybe they're just not the funniest guy on the planet, like Mark Forward, right?
These are not my words, and I'm not.
These are my words.
Well, anybody. Here's the thing: anybody can watch this interview and see that it's not that funny. Like I'm not being that funny, so it already discounts.
But you are funny because. Well, no, but the thing is, it's like that's why I would,
but anybody watching this interview would be like, "My guy's not that funny. What's that guy talking about?"
All the comments in the Letterkenny groups. But like, have you like wanted to work specifically in, so like, you know, like the horror genre for movies right now is genre bending a lot, where there is comedy kind of thrown in there. Would you like to work in that genre now, knowing that it's a genre bending genre right now, horror and everything specifically?
Look, I've never had any plans or hopes or dreams. So, I mean, when I get questions like that, I was like, yeah, sure.
Because you're just going to be that guy. Like,
Sure I would.
I think you're just that guy that just has that really, it's an art of you're just talking and just we're having a conversation.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just think it's funny. And to you, you're just answering my question, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I just go, I think I'm just talking, but then I get told, oh, that was funny. I was okay. So here's the thing.
Yes.
To answer your question, yes. But like I would take anything.
I asked someone.
Well, that's not true. I wouldn't take anything, but yeah.
I asked a comic once. Sometimes, like Mark, like you'll ask questions and like the answer of your guest just kind of goes the completely other opposite direction. It's just like, where do you go from here? I asked like a comedian once, like if they would like work in like specific movies and everything, and they were like, I'll do anything if it pays well. And I thought they were joking, but like they weren't. You know what I mean?
No, I don't. There's still. You have to be pretty darn famous to be picking and choosing what the hell your career path is. No, I'm not sitting here going, well, what should I do next? Mm-hmm. Horror? Should I do some horror genre?
I think you should, though. I would love to see that. I will be the first person to like buy like a virtual ticket to that movie. Just your character Letterkenny just thrown in like a horror movie.
Yeah, is Coach murdering people, or is he?
Or maybe he gets murdered.
He gets murdered. That'd be great. I've been trying to get Jared to kill him off for years, and he just won't. I've been trying to get him to write in that Coach gets.
Is it cool though to see the growth of all the characters specifically though? You look at like, you know, Riley and Jonesy, you look at, you know, Derry, like all the characters, they're like the same, but there's like a lot happening with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's all hindsight, right? It's all, you're not in the moment going, oh, look at what we're doing. But like, I thought I was coming in to do one monologue. And you know, we're 9 seasons later. A North America stand-up tour. I mean, a live show, and it's like I didn't expect any of this. So I mean,
you were on that recent one, right? That recent tour.
Mm-hmm.
How was that? So, like, I saw a lot online. How was that?
It was amazing. It was so much fun, and it was just great being out.
Yeah,
it was like going from doing absolutely nothing to, hey, do you want to tour 37 American cities? It was crazy. It was like, it was overload.
Yeah. No, I know. It's so crazy. Yeah. Everyone, went nuts when like that first tour was announced, because there had to be one to start it, right? Like the first like Letterkenny live tour, like people went crazy. I remember because they knew I interviewed a lot of the cast and everything, and like my like tags on social media, like check this out. I'm like, you don't think I know that this is happening? You know what I mean?
No, it was pretty fun, and I mean we were traveling with a bunch of people. We all liked each other. It was a blast.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mark, thank you so much for coming on Popternative. It was great chatting with you, man.
No worries. I'm sorry I wasn't very entertaining, and you probably won't use any of this.
I will use all of it. And, you know, very Mark forward, the shows are going to be July 26th to 30th at the Diving Bell Social Club. They can get tickets at hahaha.com, part of Just For Laughs Montreal. Twitter, Instagram, they could find Mark Forward. There's some stuff they could probably check out, right?
Yeah, sure. Whatever. Just check out whatever you want to check out.
Check out the horror movie that you're going to be making. Coming soon. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Mark Forward and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.